My name is Cal Rustad. I'm 17 years old, and for the past 10 or so years, me and my dad have been building things for Halloween. For my final senior year, I've partnered with 13 corporate sponsors to bring you the most advanced home dark ride experience. What you see here is the ride vehicle for our ride this year. This thing was fully designed by myself, and me and my dad built it and welded it out of steel. You can see it seats 8 people with its 2 large bin seats. It also spins with motorized spinning. It can tilt forward and backwards using pneumatics, tilt left and right, and go up and down. And finally, it drives along the track to pull you through different scenes of the ride. This motion vehicle combines with the audio-visual experience to make a really immersive attraction. Most people like to see what's powering the attraction, and this is an example of one of our sensor boxes I designed. So as you can see here, it gets power over Ethernet. There's this tiny little control computer which communicates with the show control system and the ride control system. And it sends our temporary sensor data. That's so the ride vehicle can say, hey, the people are facing this way, hey, the people are facing this way, and all the computers know that. And it allows the motors to change speed in order to point the ride vehicle in different directions. That's so you can see the different things on the track. And you can see as I spin it here, there's some little indicator lights. What you can see here is a demo of some of the spinning on this attraction. So there are 2 large drive motors underneath this huge steel disc that grip the disc and spin the upper ride vehicle. Since everything is connected to our network, which is donated by Thoughtful Integrations, I can actually, when testing, remote control the speed of the motors from my phone. So I'll speed it up for you. Right now, you can see it's moving pretty fast, and in a real ride, it'll never move this fast. But the fact that we have this capability due to our super strong motors means that I'm very confident that we can pull even 2,000 pounds worth of people. We still have really fast speeds. So what I'm holding in my hand is an industrial computer from OnLogic, and they sent me this. They make state-of-the-art, really rugged components which are meant to sit in a box for years with no fans and 100-degree weather and just be reliable. And so this thing runs the show and ride control software. So basically this computer holds a timeline of all of the ride sequences. It shows when do I turn on the projectors, when do I spin this way, when do I spin that way, when do I move up and down. And this sends out all of the motion data, it sends out all of the pneumatic data, it sends out all of the audio commands. And it just makes sure that everything stays connected on the network, and it makes sure that everything stays synced in time. So this computer will be running the Venue Magic software donated to us by Entertainment Sciences Group, which is one of our other main sponsors. An OnLogic PC plus the Venue Magic show software is an awesome combination, and I'm super lucky to have it powering this ride. What I have here is the pride of this project, and it's the Alcorn McBride Ride Player. Now you've probably never seen one of these before because they pretty much don't exist. These are in almost every ride vehicle in major attractions, and they're used to provide audio onto a ride vehicle. And so instead of having this on the actual ride vehicle itself, we're using it in our audio video rack to provide really high quality audio outputs synced with the rest of the ride. So this thing has 16 speaker outputs and 16 line outputs. So that means we can have different zones and scenes of the attraction. You can be going through the jungle and hearing jungle sounds overhead. You can hear an explosion off to your right, but it all is perfectly timed and perfectly in sync thanks to this ride player. Not only does the ride player have speaker and line outputs, but it has network audio in and out to make sure that our signal path is completely digital all of the time. As you've heard so far, pretty much all components on this ride are connected to network, and part of that is making sure that I have a really strong, robust, reliable, latency-free, high bandwidth network. And so I'm really thankful for our sponsor, Thoughtful Integrations here in Plano, Texas. They provided us with a brand new wireless access point to provide Wi-Fi connectivity to the iPads and iPhones for testing and for calibration, and this really awesome Luxel high-power AV switch, which provides power over Ethernet to some of the ride control and show components which need power over Ethernet, and overall just provide a ton of connection and high bandwidth for all of the devices on the network. So whenever you have a huge ride vehicle that weighs a lot of pounds on airbags, there's room for it to kind of shake left and right and forward and back. And so in order to prevent that, we designed this sliding universal joint design. So this will rest in this tube, and it will allow pivoting up and down of the ride vehicle. It'll allow the tilting forward and back and a little bit of tilting left and right, but it will prevent it from moving too far left and right. And so what you see right here, these are actually the drive motors. So these are two 24-volt DC motors, kind of similar to what you'd see on a wheelchair. These two ears are mounted solidly right here. My favorite part are these spring shocks. And the thing with amusement park attractions, the ride has to be the same every single time, but your weight might not be the same every single time. We might have one ride where there's a lot of adults and the ride vehicle weighs a ton, or we might have a lot of kids. And so the problem is, if we want this to be in contact the whole time, we actually have to have it lower than the drive wheels. Having spring shocks on the motors on the ride vehicle allows it to adjust to the amount of weight that's inside the ride vehicle and just have the correct amount of tension on the ground at all times. As you can see, we're building this in our garage. We don't have an industrial warehouse facility like most ride manufacturers do, and that means we don't really have the best conditions at all time, but part of this project is making what we have work. And so we do have this huge ride vehicle, we do have a huge rolling base, we do have a large network rack, but the fact that we're able to build it in such a small space with such limited resources kind of just makes it all so much more exciting, because instead of having an unlimited budget and unlimited materials and an unlimited space, we're able to pack a huge attraction into such a small footprint. And mind you, it's Texas right now, and this is an unair-conditioned garage, so we've been working these past few months in over 100-degree heat every day to try and bring this to life. This is kind of the end of Checkpoint 1, and I hope to see you back soon for Checkpoint 2, where we'll look more into the final stages of the ride. And I just wanted to thank all of our sponsors again for helping to make this possible. And thank you for the people who've just supported me all of these years in bringing attractions to life for Halloween.